She has received GIWL Award for the Best Organization in 2019 for Women Empowerment in IT sector, National Award in 2019 for Best Employer for Empowering People with Disabilities by Government of India, Best CSR Practice Award in IT sector at CSR Summit and Award 2019, NASSCOM Corporate Award for Excellence in Diversity and Inclusion under the Person with Disability category in 2019, Diversity Impact Award and Asia's Best Employer Brand Award and NOA Award for CSR Practice and many more. Also, she was awarded with Global Diversity Leadership Award for her work in diversity and inclusion and 100 Most Impactful CSR Leader Awards for her work in corporate social responsibility by World HRD Congress in 2016 and 2017. She has 22 years of work experience in areas like service delivery, transition, quality, and HR. Dear faculty members and my dear students, we are indeed very happy to have such an eminent personality, Ms. Reena, as a resource person for today's skill development program. Now it's time to hear her enlightened speech. Ma'am, please.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for that kind and long introduction. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can I start?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, faculty members, students, the respected correspondents, sir, principal, sir, Dr. Raman, Ramesh, sir, HOD, Chandru, sir, Sandhya, ma'am, Gomati, ma'am, and all the other faculty members who are present here. Thanks for inviting me to talk to students. For me, it's always a pleasure, to address any students across the country and, interact with them. With 20 plus years of corporate experience, I hope I will be able to give you some tips on enhancing employability skills. Let me just share a presentation. So I will take it forward from there. Just give me a minute. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
One second, I'll just put it on.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so I think enhancing employability skills is a very wide topic, right? I mean, it's the need of the hour, but at the same time, I don't think we can do justice to it in half an hour, 45 minutes, but I'll try my best to at least give you some insights, tell you what is important, because all of you are in your final year of studies. I'm sure you're waiting at the end of February, March, when you have placements. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Some of you probably would go for your higher studies, but majority of them would want to try and find a job in one of the industries, one of the corporates, and that's what you're looking at. And I'm sure your college, your placement department would have given you enough and more tips telling you what you need to concentrate on from year one onwards. But from an industry perspective, what is important is what I probably will, touch upon. I believe that, especially for students who are, pursuing the graduation, I think the road to success is about 4 things. One is obviously in terms of your technical skills, which you're learning in your college, right? Whether you're a BSc computer science students, whether you're BCA, whether, whatever you're doing, in terms of computer applications or whatever. So technical skills is something that you have to definitely know, because that's one round which they will definitely check you on, because if your knowledge, your domain knowledge is really strong, that is what will take you forward. So technical skills is extremely important. Second is in terms of soft skills, right? Soft skills are the essential skills that we talk about. However strong we are in our technical skills, however strong we are in our domain skills, if we are not able to articulate well, if we don't display those soft skills or essential skills which are required, we might lose out, because the competition is really, really high. And that is why soft skills is extremely important. And what do you do in terms of enhancing your soft skills? Or what are those soft skills that industry and corporate will look at is something that I will definitely touch upon. The third is definitely in terms of attitude, right? The kind of attitude that as an individual that you have in terms of, the right attitude, the positive attitude, where it will take you, that's there. And motivation, right? One is you have to, there are others to motivate you, but how self-motivated are you is extremely important. So I think a combination of all the 4 is definitely required for enhancing your employability skills. So I would like to start the other way around. I would like to start with motivation. Then I would like to start with a little bit on attitude. And then I will talk about, some aspects of technical skills. I'm not going to cover technical skills, but I'll at least tell you where you can look at what, so I'll cover that, and I will want to predominantly cover more on the soft skills, because what we are finding is that of late, most of the students lack in this area, and this is one area which they kind of really miss out on, and probably are not able to get those employment opportunities. uh, Moving on. So if you look at it, right, I mean, I don't know how many of you have heard of Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson is an American football coach. He's a former player, etc. And he always says, the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that very little extra, right? I mean, we have seen extraordinary people, right? And extraordinary people from being very ordinary. If you look at a lot of examples, look at our late Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam sir, right? From an ordinary small town in Tamil Nadu to becoming the greatest scientist, to becoming the president of our country. You look at Sachin Tendulkar, right? I mean, he actually didn't even do his 10th standard exam at that point of time. He did his 10th standard later and then pursued his 12th and BCom. And today, if you look at it, in the 10th standard textbook of Maharashtra state government, one chapter is on Sachin Tendulkar, right? So Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli, or take, your own what to say, Hollywood star Rajnikant or somebody like that, right? From an ordinary to extraordinary. And that little extra, that, what did they do something different, is very important. And that's what everybody talks about. And today, with the competition being so high, there are millions of graduates passing out every day, it is extremely important for you to put your best foot forward, and every big journey starts with small step. You don't first only, you become a great entrepreneur or a great cricketer or whatever. It starts with very small steps, but you have to put your efforts, you have to put your best foot forward, and that is how life goes on. And that is the reason why they say every morning you have two choices. You can keep sleeping with your dreams, or you wake up and you start chasing your dreams, right? It's extremely important. Dreams are some realities which are waiting to happen. And if you act on those dreams, probably, your dreams will come true. Walt Disney very rightly said, right? All our dreams come true if we have the courage to pursue them. Look at what Walt Disney. So I'm sure all of you know Walt Disney, right? Mickey Mouse and the Tom and Jerry and everything. You've heard so much. You would have seen so much of those first time cartoons. And if you read about Walt Disney's history, he had the courage to pursue that. Nobody thought, when he drew those characters, it would become such a big hit. Nobody thought. So he's great. He's another example that comes to our mind when we think of dreams. So it's not enough that I sit and I keep dreaming, saying that I want to become a big person, I want to do this, I want to do that, but I need to chase my dream. So if I look at the same, for example, if I look at Infosys story, I'm sure all of you have heard about Infosys story, right? Infosys started way back, about 30 years back. When they started, they had just 10,000 rupees in hand. Mr. Narayan Murthy and his 6 founders had 10,000 rupees in hand, but their dreams were very big, and they wanted to chase that dream and wanted to become a big organization. With 10,000 rupees investment, today we are a $12 billion organization, right? Where we have 240,000 plus employees. We are spread across globally. Those 6 or 7 people decided to chase their dreams, and that is why it has become a reality, and they're able to provide employability for so many people. So that is the reason why I think, in terms of self-motivation, whatever you want, you kind of write it down, don't sleep on it, but try and see how you can take that forward. If you're not able to hear me, please stop me, or if I am going fast, also somebody can tell me. Is my pace okay? Are you able to hear me clearly? Do you want me to go a little slow? Please tell me.
Everything is clear, ma'am. Please continue.
Yeah, perfect, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Like I said, I like to start with a little bit of motivation, and that is why some of these slides are, related to that. I think as students, a couple of things that you need to understand. Success is not, it's a journey, right? It keeps on carrying. You don't have a destination. It keeps going on. And some of the rules of success are a couple of things that I have kind of put down here. For me, first is, I think you have to believe in yourself, right? It's extremely important that you have confidence. Whatever you want to do, whether you want to become an entrepreneur, whether you want to be a teacher, whether you want to get into defense services, you want to join a corporate, you want to be a writer, dancer, doesn't matter what it is. But you have to first have belief in yourself. and love what you do and do what you love. So when you really enjoy your work, if you don't enjoy what you're doing over a period of time, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, or 15 years down the line, you will really, really become frustrated. So whatever you plan to do, please love that job. Today you're a student. What you should love studying, right? Very difficult job, but that's what you should do. So love what you do and do what you love, and you will definitely find success in that. You should definitely have role models and mentors at any point of time. So today, probably your role models and mentors probably could be your teachers, it could be your parents, it could be anybody else. But probably look at them. Look at your teachers, look at your head of department or whoever it is who can mentor you in the right direction, because they will be able to guide you when you come to work. Probably it could be your bosses, it could be your peers, it could be anybody. At any point of time in life, I think it is extremely important for us to have the right mentor and the right role model, so that we'll probably look at them to kind of move forward every day. The other things are, I think I've just put there, I don't want to read it, but couple of things is, what I've often seen is, with youngsters, is that we are so scared to embrace failures. The minute we fail in something, we are like dejected, we are disappointed, we feel that it is end of the world. No, we have to embrace failure. Success comes with failures, right? So it is very, very important for us to embrace failures, to learn from our failures. So when you fail, you sometimes learn from those failures. Okay, those are the mistakes that I made. Next time I will not make these kind of mistakes. And when you come to workplace, see, at least when you're studying, probably, okay, the expectation is you don't fail, right? You pass off in what to say, flying colors, and then you come out of your first year, second year, third year degree, and you don't have backlogs, etc. But sometimes that also happens. But I mean, I would suggest that should not happen. But and you should go forward. But when you come to work, because the kind of atmosphere that you would be, there could be certain tasks that you could not do properly. There could be certain things that you could not do properly. Your boss could shout at you for that particular reason. But those are things that you will learn from. So you learn from those experiences. So embracing failures is extremely important. Face your fears. So whatever fear that you have, like for example, I know a lot of people, they're as simple as afraid of swimming, or it could be driving, or it could be anything for that matter. So overcome your fear. Whatever fear you have, try and see if you can overcome the fear. And I think the most important part of it is, I think, focus on the process and not the result. So even while studying, right? I mean, it's not about that me getting that 88%, 95%, 99%. That should be my target, right? I want to achieve that, whatever percentage that I want to achieve. But when I say I want to achieve that, are you actually putting your hard work, right? So that process of hard work is what you have to focus on. You work on it, you put in your hard work, the result will automatically come. And that is so true in everything in life. And that is why they say focus on the process and not the result. So these are a couple of things which I thought I should kind of share with you. Moving on, I think this is what I was talking about. I was speaking about skills, knowledge, and attitude. I think ask. I'm sure you would have heard this many times, probably from your teachers as well. Knowledge is something that you are definitely getting from your college at this point of time. Your teachers are sharing their knowledge with you. You are probably facing those assessments, exams, whatever it is, that's testing your knowledge, right? So knowledge is something that you're getting. You get it from textbooks, you get it from reading material, whatever it is. So that's what you have. Skills is something that you have to develop, right? It could be any kind of skills. It could be listening skills, it could be reading skills, it could be communication skills, it could be technical skills, any skills. Skills is by virtue of practice. By virtue of practice, you kind of develop that skills. And then comes obviously attitude. You have to have the right attitude to work. Typically, most of the organizations, when they are doing an interview, they will check for a combination of all three. And you, as a student, as a youngster, if you have this attitude, skills, and knowledge, I think it's a deadly combination. It's a wonderful combination for you to succeed in life. The other acronym for ask is also anytime, anywhere, or always seek knowledge as well. But what we talk about is attitude, skills, and knowledge. So please ensure that knowledge is something that you keep developing. You keep, there's no end to knowledge, right? You can keep gaining knowledge. So keep gaining knowledge. Skills, please ensure that whatever skills that you want to, please develop, and always have a positive and right attitude. And the reason why I say this is, I'll give you an example here. A small this one. I do have a colleague of mine. I had diversity in Infosys BPM. I do work with a lot of people with disabilities within the organization, outside the organization. So I have a colleague of mine who is hearing impaired. Hearing impaired is, well, he can't hear nor can he speak, right? I mean, the deaf and dumb, earlier hearing impaired used to be called as a deaf and dumb person. He walks in, I mean, he comes into the office, the kind of energy and attitude that guy has, when today, obviously, we are working from home, but when we used to work from office, every day morning at 8:30 in the morning, I meet him. Typically, I try and meet him for breakfast. And the enthusiasm that he has for life, be it in terms of photography, be it in terms of cooking, be it in terms of, he's an excellent dancer, he's an excellent, he paints really well, and then he really works well, but he comes with so much of zeal for life, so much of enthusiasm for life, and he's been working with us for the last 14-15 years. It's not like he's working with us for last 1 year or 2 year. But when I see his enthusiasm, I'm saying that, okay, look at his enthusiasm, so why can't anybody else where can't have that enthusiasm in life, that attitude in life is what I probably learned from him, is what I would suggest, that right attitude is why we talk about. Moving on, just what happened, just a minute. Okay, I would also suggest that, set goals. I think setting goals is extremely important, right? If you have a goal, it could be a short-term goal, it could be a long-term goal, and when you write down those goals, it'll basically turning the invisible into visible, right? If I don't write it down, or if I don't make a note of my goal, it's okay, it's there. So for me, it is like, I have life goals, I have a 5-year plan, daily goals, or whatever. My immediate goal could be probably to, pass my exams with flying colors in the month of March, or whatever it is. 2 years down, my goal could be that, I want to join a particular corporate, or whatever it is. I want to enter into a fantastic organization. 5 years down the line, it could be that I want to own a car, I want to own a house, or whatever it is. I want to get married, I want to settle down, or whatever it is. And then obviously I'll have a financial goal. I want to retire at this particular age, or I want to do something in life, I want to do social service, anything for that matter. But if you can kind of have a clear set goal, which is your long term goal, which is your short term goal, make the goal very, very specific, in terms of what is your short term goal, what is your long term goal. I'm sure all of you have heard this even before, right? In terms of SMART goals, right? Whether it is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. I don't think this is anything new to you. I'm only reiterating this to you, okay? Because it's extremely important for us, because today I noticed that, while we understand we are in a pandemic situation, we have to take each day at a time, because as long as all of us and our families are hale and healthy, that is what is most important to all of us. But we'll get over this period. Crisis keep happening in everyone's life, right? Today it is happening in the whole world, and that crisis, we will get over that crisis. We have to stay positive. We have to see that we will get over this crisis. And because there's a crisis, we can't say that we won't look for opportunities, we will not have a goal, whatever has to happen will happen. No, we still have to have those defined goals, saying that this is what I'll do, and then leave it to the mercy of Almighty to ensure that everything will be well, and we will be able to achieve that particular goal. But we have to have those goals. So please ensure that you have the SMART goals. Set realistic deadlines, set realistic timelines, and do that. Example, today, all of you are having online classes at this point of time. Not very easy. It is definitely not easy. We completely understand. Very different from having classes in person, and then you're supposed to also, finish your internal assessment, your external assessment. All those kind of things will happen, but you have to put in that additional effort. If you look at an organization like us, right, where I said we have 240,000 people, we never thought, we always, work from home was there, but that was once in a while people would do work from home. But today, 98% of people are sitting in different parts of the world, and we are working from home, and business is running, business as usual is happening, and that is how life changes. So if I don't adapt to technology, if I don't adapt to changes, it becomes difficult for us. Life has to go on, and that is why goals are very, very important, and you need to kind of move on. The other most important aspect, which I would definitely like to touch upon, is in terms of time management. And given the current circumstances, especially, right? I mean, a lot of people do not have a routine, right? Because they would sleep at odd time, they will get up at odd time, they'll probably take their classes, I don't know how, or whatever it is. Time management is extremely important, and especially when you come to work in corporates, it's even more important. Not that it is not, it is important even while you're studying, while you're a student, right? If you don't go to, when the colleges were open, if you didn't go to college at 8 or 8:30, obviously I'm sure your gates of the college would be closed or whatever it is. So time management is an important aspect for us. When we talk about time management in corporate, when we have to attend a meeting, if the meeting is at 9 o'clock, we are there at 8:45. We are all set ready, and we start the meeting instead of 9 o'clock, we start the meeting at 8:55. And that's the importance of time management. So that's a very, very important skill for you to learn. You have to develop that skill, whether it is in terms of you waking up and doing something. Don't postpone your studies, don't postpone anything. Everything, do it on time is extremely important. And these are a couple of ideas which I have just put. I'm not going to read through those ideas, but I think however it helps you, whether it is in terms of writing a journal, whether it is in terms of keeping those alarms, to wake you up, to tell you that from this time to this time I need to study, from this time to this time I need to do that. Time management is an extremely important skill. So please, do work on it. I think from a power of responsibility, I think all of you are 18 plus at this point of time, right? You have the, what do I say, this one to vote, right? You all have your permanent driving license now. I mean, if you have applied for, you can get your four-wheeler driving license, whatever. You're majorly an adult. So you also have to be responsible for yourself. And your options, I mean, like I said, the dream big, thing big, your options are only as limited as you allow them to be. So before I get into one or two aspects of the technical skills, I think I would like to, for each of you to know this. Today in India, we have about 12.5 million graduates. When I say 12.5 million graduates, this is including arts, commerce, science, engineering, your MBA, MCA, all the graduates, out of which 1.5 million engineering graduates graduate every year in India, right? Only 20% of them are found employable. If you look at the larger base, which I spoke about, 12.5 million graduates passing out of that, only 30%, 30 to 34% are employable. 50% of the students basically lose out because of lack of soft skills, and 15 to 20% only have functional skills, what companies are looking for. You might have certain technical skills, but what companies are looking for, you may not have. So the main thing which we find, the main gap what we are finding is in terms of soft skills, and how do you kind of improve your soft skills is extremely important. I'm sure I just wanted to kind of just quickly touch upon this part in terms of the industry revolution. I think all of us, at least some of us, I mean, you kids would have just seen the third and fourth revolution, but at least your teachers and everyone, we have seen, four industrial revolutions has happened. And every time an industrial revolution happens, we think people will lose their jobs because of automation, because of things are different. No, there are newer things which will happen. And technology has always been a major driver during the industrial revolution. And every time there's an industrial revolution, there are newer jobs created. For example, when the IT boom happened, right? When the computers had come in, and when banks were getting automated, and computers started coming, those passbooks and things were not there. A lot of bank employees actually did a strike, saying that we are going to lose our jobs. But did actually employees lose their job? They didn't lose their job. If they were ready to upgrade themselves, they were ready to adapt to the change, they actually got better jobs, they got probably better paid, and whatever it is. So every revolution comes with automation, but it will also come with a lot more kind of work. So for example, if you look at these are a couple of changes that I'm sure all of us have seen, right? Internet of things, what we see. Like, for example, if you look at an Uber and Ola, which you've heard of, right? What is Uber and Ola? Basically, it's Internet of Things, right? Do Uber own those cars, those 100 cars or 200 or 500 or 1,000 cars? They don't. They have just tied up with an internet service provider. They've tied up with the cab drivers, and they're kind of, providing that services to people. So that's Internet of Things. If you look at Paytm today, you have Paytm, you have Google Pay, you have UPI pays or whatever it is. Again, it is an easy way for you to start kind of paying those payments or whatever that you want. Today, if you look at Cars 24, right, I can just walk into any of the cars. I don't even have to walk into. I just go online, say that I have this car, I want to sell this particular car. They come, they ask you what is your estimated price that you want. We tell them what is the estimated price. In 24 hours, your car is sold and sitting at your home. So things change. So that is why they say technology driven transformation. Today, especially you are computer science students, you know things better, right? I mean, given that there is Internet of Things, there is automation, there's artificial intelligence, lot of things which are changing in today's world. The more for you to develop your technical skills, keep looking out for what is that new in the market and what you need to kind of do is extremely important. So I've just, I'm sure all of you, I don't know how many of you are on LinkedIn. If you're not on LinkedIn, my suggestion is please go on to LinkedIn. I know a lot, okay, TikTok is banned at this point of time, but in spending time on TikTok, I would say that LinkedIn is a very, very important place that you have to. People think that LinkedIn is only for experienced resources. No, LinkedIn is not for experienced resources. LinkedIn is also for young people like you to connect with people from industry. One, two is also to find out, what is the fastest growing jobs in India, what are the skills required. Lot of articles that you see on LinkedIn. So if you have not registered on LinkedIn, my suggestion is you go on LinkedIn. So for example, for technical skills, so these are a couple of skills which is there, the latest one, the 15 fastest growing jobs in India, and which are the skills required. And I'm talking to you because you're computer science students, So for example, a blockchain developer or a JavaScript developer, artificial intelligence specialist, or a digital marketing specialist, lead generation specialist, customer success specialist. If you go on to LinkedIn, if you're wondering what is each and every, what is this, you will get all the details in terms of what is the skills that you require, where do I go and I get these particular skills, how do I develop these skills. Those details are there, and based on which you can kind of enhance your skills. And like any other technology, because technology keeps changing, right? We started, all of us have heard from C++ to Java to SAP to, artificial intelligence to a lot of things that we have been hearing. So any technology that we start with, one is first is you have to learn the basics. So go around learning the basics of that particular technology, learn how the process works. You have a lot of tutorials which are available today in the net, which again I will talk about. Read as much as content that you can, and you should keep improving, especially for technology students. That is very, very important. Okay, there is definitely a change, right? And a couple of businesses which are expected to pick up momentum, once COVID goes, or is already picked up momentum. We don't know when COVID will go. Probably will take another 6 months or whatever it is, but which is already kind of picked up momentum. A couple of these things that I have kind of put over here. Digital definitely has taken a great momentum. There are a lot of opportunities in digital. The IT and the IT enabled services industry, the way they work. Data science, if you look at healthcare, network marketing. Today, there's a lot of demand in terms of online coaching or online teaching. So if you're a good teacher, if you can teach well, you can use your laptop efficiently. There's a lot of demand for that. Obviously, insurance. Today, people, because they want to go green, they want everything organic, home gardening, terrace gardening. These are the kind of things which are actually picking up a lot of momentum. Gaming is picking up a lot of momentum as well. Physical well-being. Today, every organization is bothered about their physical well-being of their employees. Not only organizations, I'm sure, whether it's schools, colleges, everywhere, right? So physical well-being, mental wellness, physical wellness is given a lot of importance, and a lot of people are going in for these kind of courses, whether it is psychology, whether it is counseling, whether it is spiritual science, etc. So that's also kind of picking up momentum. Gig economy. What is gig economy? Gig economy is now that because people are sitting in any part of the world, right? I could be sitting in Tirupur, I could be sitting in Erode, and I could be working for a company which is in Delhi or which is in New Jersey. And as long as I have a computer, I have an internet connection, I have the right technical skills, that particular organization can give me work, and I probably will work for a particular period of time. I'll say I'll work for this project for 3 months or 6 months for this particular company, and you pay me for that. Then I would be working with any other company. And that is gig economy. This is something like part-time working. Gig economy was very, very prevalent in the US and all earlier, but it is slowly coming now into the market, given that today everyone are connected. internet connectivity is there, connection from home is possible. So gig economy is kind of, and people also feel that, I don't want to have a full 9 to 5 job and things like that. So gig economy is big time coming into the market at this point of time. So I'll now move on to, I think, soft skills, which most of you are looking for, which is very, very essential. I'll try and complete it in the next 10 minutes. I know that I've been continuously speaking. So soft skills, for me, I call soft skills as essential skills. I think extremely important. This soft skills or life skills or essential skills that you talk is not only required when you face an interview with an organization. I think this is required throughout your life experience, throughout every time. I mean, wherever you're working, how many ever years of experience that you have, you keep improving on these soft skills, because it is very, very essential at this point of time. I'll give you one more story over here. I actually travel across the country, working for various working with various universities in terms of employability skills, etc. I had visited this very small town in Maharashtra called Jalgaon. I don't know how many of you have heard of this place also, right? And there's a university over there. And then when I went there, I was very surprised. In that particular small town, there's a lot of industries, especially the paint industry. Plenty of paint industries are there. And this university had one particular, they had a stream called B in Paint Technology, Bachelor's of Engineering in Paint Technology. And it was fascinating because not many universities have this particular, this particular stream. And so one of the requirement of the university is that the paint companies, whether it is Asian Paints, whether it is Narolac or whatever, which was there in that particular area, they used to come and hire students from this particular, university, because they had BE in paint technology. But their only concern was the soft skills was not there for the students. And they were telling the university, can you do something to improve their communication skills or whatever soft skills that they required, because that will really, really help us, because otherwise we're spending a lot of time in terms of training resources before we kind of hire them. So I'm just giving you an example. That's how it is, important for you to have those soft skills, for you to get a right opportunity as well. So a couple of examples over here on a couple of top soft skills which organizations look at. One is obviously in terms of problem solving. So problem solving is your ability to handle difficult or complex problems. How do you identify, the source of the problem, find an effective solution, right? It is extremely important. So if I go to my boss saying that I have a problem, my boss will say, can you please bring in 2-3 solutions? I can tell you what is the best solution. Don't come to me with a problem. So your problem solving ability. Currently, you have a problem, you go to your teachers will help you in solving those problems. But once you come to a corporate, you have a problem, you should also know how to solve those problems. So problem solving is extremely important. Second one is in terms of communication skills. When we talk about communication skills, everyone thinks it's only about verbal communication skills, right? Yes, verbal communication skills is extremely important. English being the global language, how do you communicate? That is also very important. But communication skills is not only about verbal communication skills. There is written communication skills, because most of the time you use email, right? So email etiquette becomes a very, very important part of it. Your non-verbal communication skills, because you might be sitting in front of a customer, you might be sitting in front of your manager, your peers, that cues, that non-verbal communication that you do, that is extremely important. Your visual communication, your eye contact, and a lot of times in terms of active listening. So when you're sitting in a meeting, it's not that every time that you need to talk in a meeting. It is most of the time you're listening. And when you're listening, are you able to, give that right, only if you listen, you'll be able to give solution to that right problem. So active listening becomes a extremely important skill that you have to develop. Teamwork, I don't think I need to talk about teamwork. All of you understand what teamwork are. When you come into any organization, you're working with people from, see, at least when you're in college, majority of you are from Tamil Nadu, for example, right? I mean, you might have people from other states, but majority of them are. But when you come into work, you have people from different states. They could be from even different countries, different ethnicity, different culture. So how do you kind of come together, work together, because your goal is to work together and ensure your team or organization goal is achieved, because it's not about working individually or working in silos. So very, very important in terms of teamwork. Self-management is more in terms of yourself, right? How do I prioritize my task, right? So if somebody has given me something to do end of day tomorrow, I have to finish it at that end of day tomorrow. So I kind of prioritize my task. I have a to-do list. I am very flexible. It makes me, it will help me in terms of becoming more, what to say, productive, take responsibility for my own action as well. And that is where, even in self management, time management also becomes a very, very important aspect of time management. Uh, what else? Creativity. I think you understand creativity. I don't have to give too much into creativity, but I think it is important that you stand out. If you can put on that thinking hats of yours, give ideas in a workplace, you will highly be appreciated. So creativity is extremely important. Numeracy is not just about mathematics. Uh, People, the minute they hear numeracy, they think it is mathematics, yes, but it is the importance of developing logical thinking and reasoning. So if there's a problem, how do you logically think, how do you reason it out, right? The importance of developing logical thinking and reasoning, how do you solve problems, and obviously how to make sense of numbers, extremely important, because you'll be using Excel and those kind of things. How do you make sense of numbers? That's very, very important. Computer science students, I don't have to talk about digital skills, very, very important. Be a expert in whatever digital skills that you know, your MS Office and things like that. Please be thorough with that, whether it is Word, whether it is Excel, whether it is PowerPoint, and all the other digital skills. I mean, MS Office is the most basic thing. I'm just talking about the basic, and extremely important for you. And obviously, in terms of being well informed, right? I need to know what is happening in my surroundings, what is happening today. If a question is asked in my interview about some topic which happened, some burning issue which happened in Pakistan yesterday, or something else about sports or whatever it is, it's important. So that is why important for you to read that e-newspaper or whatever it is, and keep yourself well informed. So these are a couple of skills that you definitely require. And then in terms of competencies, is what is obviously your self-confidence. When you walk in for an interview, how confident are you? The way you talk, the way you're able to express yourself. So confidence is definitely important. Drive is again self-motivation. Resilience. What is resilience? Resilience is basically how do you adapt yourself in case there's an emergency or in case there is a crisis, and how will you bounce back? So if they give you a particular scenario and say that, okay, this is your scenario and how do you come back? So I've had some emergency at home and whatever it is. Now at a workplace, for a period of time, people will understand, but after that I need to come back and I need to start working. So how do I kind of bounce back from my whatever crisis that I've had? So extremely important at that way. And then at the end of the day, it is in terms of my self-assessment, my reflection, right? Have I done for this particular month, this particular week, have I done what I was supposed to do? Because remember, in every organization, end of 6 months, there is something called as an appraisal system, basically assessment, like how you have your semester exams. There's an assessment even in organizations, where they'll tell you, have you met expectations? Have you exceeded expectations? Are you below expectations? Your salary revision and everything will happen based on that. So before they do it, it is better for you to reflect on yourself and say that, have I done, make a note of what I was supposed to do, what I was not supposed to do, or what have I done well, what have I not done well. If I have not done well something, then do I need support? Then I go back to my manager and say, I think I needed support here. I couldn't do this particularly. So you're kind of self-assessing yourself. So reflection is extremely important soft skill, and this is important throughout your life. Now, this is not just from a corporate perspective. This is also if you want to become an entrepreneur, you want to do anything in life. I think these are a couple of skills which you definitely require. Analytical skills, I don't think I need to talk too much about analytical skills. I'm sure you all understand what is analytical skills. This is again something that you would be definitely kind of tested on, especially when you have when you have interviews. I think how do you sharpen your analytical skills? I've kind of put a couple of points over there. One is in terms of obviously being observant, right? Observe people, see what is happening around you. Anything that you interest you, you keep, and you keep actively engaging your mind. Today, okay, we are not going out as much as we used to go out before because of pandemic. But I have noticed always, outside earlier, people are so lost in their mobile phones, right? They don't even know what is happening around. So if you're observant, I think you kind of learn a lot of things. It's not enough that you're full time lost into your mobile or whatever it is. So I think that is one aspect of it. Reading books, I don't think I have to tell you about this. I know it's a very difficult task for many of them these days, but I think active reading is something that you have to slowly start developing, because if you start developing reading skills, you will proactively be able to what to say ask those questions. You can highlight, you can do a lot of things. When you read, you're gaining that kind of knowledge. You might question a lot of things. So if you have not started developing reading skills, my sincere suggestion to each one of you is, please ensure that you read certain books. Obviously, in terms of brain games, I think you know what it is, right? Whether it could be Sudoku, it could be puzzles, chess, crosswords, or whatever. Those are ways of developing your analytical skills. So when you try to solve a puzzle, you're actually developing your what to say analytical skills as well. So, and that doesn't require a lot of motivation, right? Solving a puzzle or a Sudoku or a chess or whatever that you want to, whatever interests you, that's one way of doing it. And then it is obviously in terms of practicing your problem solving skills. Please understand that for every problem, there could be more than 2 or 3 solutions. So you will put down 2 or 3 solutions. What could be the best solution is what you will take. So, you kind of practice. And once you've decided on that particular solution, don't backtrack. You say, no, let me go ahead with this particular solution. So you keep reviewing your decisions. Think about your decisions, and review it and take it forward. I've seen a lot of students these days, especially my daughter is also doing her engineering third year. So I've seen a lot of her, some of her friends come to second year engineering, and then they're thinking, I don't think I want to do engineering at this point of time. I probably want to go back and do arts and psychology. I'm like, why did you waste 3 years of your engineering seat, right? So so that's why I said problem solving or whatever it is. So when you're doing that, think of what you want to do, have 2 3 solutions, and what is the best solution. Once you've taken that particular solution, stick to that particular solution. So that's extremely important. I have given you a list of aptitude papers. I will definitely share this with your teachers, Ramesh sir, and whatever. I've given some, free resources over here. I think you need to understand. I think in the beginning I told you that today 15 million, 12.5 million graduates pass out every year, right? Only 30% are employable. You need to understand that aptitude paper is the first round of interview for any organization. One is obviously aptitude paper is because they want to test your quantitative aptitude or verbal reasoning skills, your computer skills, or your logical reasoning skills. That is why they give you a aptitude paper. But the most important thing about aptitude paper is it's a filtration process. Please understand. If I have 100 vacancies, I know that 1,000 people will apply for that particular job. I do not have the patience to interview 1,000 people. So if I give an aptitude paper, I know out of 1,000 people, probably 300 people will pass that aptitude paper. Then I have to interview only 300 people for that 100 positions, right? So that is why aptitude paper becomes extremely important, and you have to solve aptitude papers because that's your first round of interview. I think there's this quantitative aptitude, this one by Dr. R.S. Agarwal, which is a very nice book. If you want, you can refer to that. Otherwise, there are a lot of free resources which are available, whether it is businessballs.com, All India Exams, fresherslives.com, practice aptitude test, a lot of things which are available on Google. Please go ahead and please ensure that you practice those aptitude papers. I'm sure all of you have heard about MOOC, right? I mean, your teachers would have definitely told you about MOOC. MOOC is, massive open online course. As computer science students, I think you understand this very, very well. You have to also always keep adding additional skills. And today, a lot of courses are available almost free of cost, right? If you're looking at learning, it is available free of cost. If you're looking only for that certificate, is when you have to go and you have to pay for that particular certificate. But please use this open online courses and learn as much as you can. You can do them at your own pace, right? I mean, look at, I'm sure all of you are aware, Udemy, Udacity. There are a lot of, websites which are, a lot of apps, learning apps which are available. and you can learn on any topic. You can build your own library for your career and personal growth. You can learn from industry experience. For example, if you go to Udemy or Udacity or things like that, for example, you want to become an expert in Python, Adobe Photoshop, machine learning, marketing, personal development, design, music, photography, psychology, gardening, counseling, name it, anything, right? You have courses for everything, and you can actually go through this course and you can try to become at least a medium term expert in that particular thing. So please make use of MOOC and what do I say? All these things, whether it is Coursera, whether it is edX. I've just put a couple of them. It's not that these are the only top 5. These are top 5 MOOC providers, but there are many more. For example, I've put here TED. Listen to TED Talks, whether it's TED videos, TEDx videos. Udemy I spoke about. Khan Academy is really, really good. I don't know how many of you have gone through Khan Academy videos. Khan Academy is a Salman Khan Academy. Not Salman Khan, the actor, but Salman Khan, the person who has created these videos over there. There's a lot of resources which are available over there. Harvard Mentor Manager. You look at LinkedIn, which I already spoke to you about. Stanford. So there's a lot of online resources, and you being computer science students, I think you are aware of these things, but how effectively you want to use this is important, right? You can spend the time on Netflix and Sun Next and Hotstar and whatever you want every day, but please keep half an hour to one, not half an hour is too little, but at least about 1.5 hours every day to learn something new from any of these open online courses. Very, very important. So please do that. Dedicate that 1.5 hour every day. Remaining time, please watch you can probably use for watching whatever Hotstar or Netflix or whatever that you do. But this is very important. When you're going into any industry, so a couple of core domain industry types that I have put, but when you go into any industry, because you are technology students, but you may not, everyone may not go into an IT industry alone, right? You could be going into an automotive industry and becoming an IT professional. You could go to entertainment and media, and you could be looking after IT and whatever. So whichever domain whichever industry that you get into, please ensure that you also learn about that particular industry. That will kind of help you. So tomorrow, if I want to get into a manufacturing company and I want to become I look after their infrastructure, then I better know about that particular manufacturing industry. So learn about the industry as well, what that industry is, how that industry is doing, where that industry is going, where that organization is going is extremely important. I've given a couple of sites for you in terms of how to crack an interview as well. Very, very interesting websites. You'll get a lot of reading information over there. So please go there and kind of, I'll share this also with your, professors, which they can share it in your WhatsApp group or whatever. But you should definitely go through these websites and apps, which is like your, Career Cup or Ambition Box, Interview Best. I've just put a couple of them. Or you can put your resume in a couple of these job hunting sites like Naukri, Monster, LinkedIn, whatever. So create that particular resume and you can kind of put it up over there. So these are a couple of examples. Also, please work on your resume, because what I have seen is that most of the students, your resume is a copy paste either from your seniors or from the nearest, Xerox shop, right? You'll have standard mother's name, father's name, mother is a homemaker or mother is a whatever, this is what, and hobbies, everyone's hobbies are the same. That's not how you write your resume. Please ensure that your resume is a reflection of you, right? So in terms of whatever your interest areas are, what is your hobby, what is your objective, what is your goal, please spend that time and create that nice resume and put it so that you stand out. So when a company receives 5,000 resumes, if your resume is standing out, first they will kind of pick that up. So create your resume in such a way that you differentiate yourself and you talk about your hobbies, and what you put there, please remember it is about you. Don't put, like I have seen a lot of students putting in their resume, I love reading books. Now when you say love reading books, you ask them, okay, what is the latest book that you have read? They're thinking, right? Who is your best author? They're thinking. Or somebody says that I love cricket, right? That is my thing. So if you ask them, okay, in the latest IPL match, who won, or what is the score of this particular person or whatever, many of them are not able to answer. So when you put something in terms of your hobby or whatever, please be sure that you know what you're talking about, because that is important. Last but not the least is definitely English, right? Because like I said, global communication, global language, this is, which is used across the industry. So please work on it, in terms of improving your English skills, in terms of speaking, in terms of writing and everything. It's important. None of us, for us, our mother tongue is not English, right? It's a new language for us. So if you look at English as a language, it might be difficult to learn. But if you say that if I get this skill, I will be able to articulate better, look at the language as a skill. And then if you start learning, you will learn better. For example, tomorrow, if you get an opportunity to go to Germany and work, right? It is extremely difficult to survive in Germany without German, right? So you learn that particular language. So look at any language that you learn as a skill. Look at Tamil Nadu, right? If you go to Chennai, if you go to T Nagar, there are a lot of Marwadis who have come from, Gujarat, and who have set up their shops over there. They speak fluent Tamil. Why do they speak fluent Tamil? They know that if I have to, run my business over here, if I don't know Tamil, it will become difficult for me. So they have learned that skill of learning that particular language. So similarly, English, look at it as a skill. Obviously, you've heard of LSRW, which is listening, writing, reading, and speaking. That is the best way to learn a language. I have put certain apps and websites in case you're not familiar, you don't, you're not practicing English on a regular basis. Then these are a couple of websites which you can go, and you can practice that skills. And how do you practice? It's only by talking, right? Talking to your friends, be in groups, reading English newspapers and things like that. So just practice. Once you practice, you'll automatically pick up that particular language. I wanted to also, like I spoke to you about LinkedIn, Udemy, Udacity, and whatever it is. This is one particular website Infosys has launched, which is InfiTQ. This is a learning app for engineering students. Basically a free platform which is offered to all the third and fourth year students across India. It's completely free. There are a lot of courses. You also can register even though you're not an engineering student and you're an science, BSc, BCA students. You should definitely go there. This is only for learning. Okay, you are definitely encouraged to use this particular website. And there is soft skills, but there's also a lot of technical skills. So there's courses like this: programming fundamental using, oriented program using, data structure and algorithm using, etc. This is typically for college students. It's an Infosys certification program. Once you finish that, end of the program, you have a certification thing, and then if you clear that, you also get a certificate. So I would urge you and encourage you, if you want to do it, please go ahead and do it. I have just put what I like in terms of couple of books, which simple books that you could start reading, but you should really, really develop this habit. I think you've heard of Wings of Fire of Dr. Abdul Kalam, or short stories by Rashmi Bansal. It's full of motivation stories in terms of connecting the dots, how people have become entrepreneurs, who never had entrepreneurship in their, family. They are the first time entrepreneurs. So there are a couple of lovely stories over there. So I've just put up a couple of books, but whatever it is, you want to read, but please start developing that habit. This book called The Secret by Rhonda Bryan. I would urge each one of you to go ahead. It is a little difficult, but you have to read those books. It's very nice to, kind of read these books. So please do that. Please understand, currently you are in an institution, where you're studying. Obviously, it's a protected zone, where there is examination focus. There's a lot of individual care which is given. You will very soon be moving into industry. Industry is all about teamwork. It's about your efficiency, about your production. It's about how competitive you are. Your boundaries are very, very volatile at this point of time. And there's going to be a lot of rigorous supervision when you move into the industry. Not to scare you, but it's two different worlds. You need to understand that. And change is only constant, right? So keep updating yourself. It saves a lot of extra effort. I don't think I have to talk anything about the picture. The picture is very, very self-explanatory for you. And definitely make times for your hobbies and keep your hobbies alive, because that's, again, very important these days. It's not only about work. It's not only about studies. It's about your mental well-being as well. So keeping your whatever, it could be gardening, it could be photography, it could be anything that you are doing, it could be yoga, whatever, but keep time for your hobbies and keep your hobbies alive is what I would say. I would like to definitely end with saying that one, success is a journey and not a destination. Success also depends on the second letter U, right? SU, that's what Steve Jobs said. So it's all about you, how well you prepare yourself. That's what success depends on. Have all fun, enjoy life, but at the same time also learn, happy learning, and wish you all the very best. I would like to end by saying that, and I'm open to questions.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. Really, the session was very informative. Your speech is really an eye-opener for all of us. Thank you, ma'am. It's highly motivated as students also. Dear participants, you can post your queries through the chat option. We'll take it to our resource person. Chatல போட்டுருக்காங்களா ராகு?
Dear students, you can have your queries in the chat options available at the YouTube link. Dear students and faculty members, you can have your queries with Reena, ma'am.
Madam, good morning, madam. Myself Chandru here.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Chandru, sir.
Madam, regarding communication, how can we improve our communicative skills now?
So like I mentioned, it's all about practice, right? So communication skills, any language that you want to learn, there are, one is obviously in terms of listening. That's why I said LSRW is very, very important. So one is you listen to the language. So if you want to improve your English skills, I think listening to English news or watching an English movie or whatever it is. So while listening, one is one way of developing that particular language. Second is obviously in terms of reading, right? When you read that particular language, the vocabulary, the words, the sentences, and whatever, that kind of, so you'll start concentrating on that. And the third is obviously in terms of speaking, right? So you have to do all the three. So speaking is also extremely important. So form small groups, 2-member, 3-member, 4-member, speak to each other in the same language. So when you speak to each other, you start correcting your mistakes. That's one way of, improving your communication skills. And over a period of time, when you continuously do that, we pick up the language. That's how we all have picked up language, right? Like, for example, I'm not a Tamilian. I'm from Karnataka, right? எனக்கு வந்து தமிழ் தெரியாது. But now I've come to Tamil Nadu a couple of times, right? I've come many times, probably interacting with Bhartiya University and whatever. So when I go in the bus, when I come there, I've realized that, if I can speak a little bit of Tamil, I know my Tamil is not great. I started watching Tamil movies and things like that. Now I can speak, in the sense, my Tamil people might still laugh at it. What am I talking? But at least I can now communicate. What I communicate, people can understand. And so any language is like that. So you kind of pick up the language by, reading, by listening, and by speaking. And that's the best way to improve communication skills. So in terms of verbal communication skills, your email etiquette and stuff like that is in terms of writing. So you improve your writing skills and you improve your your return communication skills as well.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
Question. I hope I've answered. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
One more question from a student.
Absolutely.
Madam, please.
Right?
Okay, question from a student, ma'am. What is your idea about UI UX, ma'am?
Sorry, what is my idea about?
UI/UX.
So again, like I said, for anything that you want to learn, it is basically that you have to, what do I say? You'll have to start from the basics. It depends on what your interest is. your interest, whoever the student is, that student's interest might be in UI UX. It's again good, right? But anything that you want to learn, you start with learning basics, learn how the process works, learn from tutorials or whatever it is. You read, as much as content that you want to read, where it is used, and then you start improving it. So what is good for me may not be good for you. What is good for somebody else might not be good for somebody else. So from that perspective, I would say it is good, but you have to decide, and you have to start with learning the basics.
Yes, ma'am. And he also asked what is the best way to impress the interviewer?
Know your subject thoroughly well, right? So I think, see, please understand, when you go in for an interview, while the interview might be there for half an hour, 45 minutes, or sometimes even longer, or sometimes shorter as well, the interviewer will appraise you in the first 5 minutes itself, right? So when you walk into the interview, one is in terms of obviously the way you're dressed for an interview, right? You're neatly dressed, you're well groomed, extremely important. The kind of manners that you display in terms of good morning, good afternoon, what that is extremely important. When you sit for an interview, when somebody asks you, okay, tell me about yourself, what are you talking in that 2 minutes, 3 minutes? So be well prepared. Articulation is important, right? Saying that I am so and so, I do this, this is my area of interest, or whatever it is. So that is one. If they ask you questions about, why do you want to join my organization, you should have read something about that particular organization. So you say that, I want to join this particular, I want to join TCS, or I want to join Infosys or Accenture, I want to join this organization because it's a Fortune 500 company, blah blah blah. So you prepare about. And then when they ask you about your technical skills, whatever about your technical skills, you should be able to thoroughly tell them correctly in 2 or 3 sentences that you know about that technology, or you don't. If you don't know, please say you don't know. It's okay to say you don't know, but you're keen to learn. But if you don't start fumbling, so each interview is different, but these are the most important things, etiquettes of an interview, which you definitely need to follow. So one is in terms of your self grooming, in terms of your communication and articulation skills, in terms of what you talk about yourself, your hobbies, and 4 is in terms of your technical skills. I think if you take care of these 4 things, you will automatically impress your interviewer.
And one more question, ma'am. For job offerings, what's your point of view, ma'am? Whether startup companies or corporate companies, ma'am, which is better?
It depends on what you want to do, right? Each individual is different. Today, a lot of youngsters are what to say, are willing to take the risk and join the startup companies. A lot of startup companies are doing well. The exposure that you get in a startup company probably is much wider and larger, because you start from the scratch, you're experimenting something, the company wants to grow and stuff like that. And if the company really does well over a period of time, then you're one among the the first few members of that particular startup company. So you also tend to gain. So that is one way to look at it if you want a startup company. The other one, you want to play it a little safe. You're saying that, no, I want a experienced company which is already there, who is done. They're also good. So it completely depends on what is your risk appetite, right? And what is it that you want to do? Like I said, each individual is different. So if you have a risk appetite to go for a startup company, you want to really do something different and whatever, please feel free to do it. Don't hesitate. You're all young, right? This is the time that you can take those risks, right? So you should do that. First 4-5 years, you can take those risks. Then you can always join. I mean, if you think that things are not going well, you can always, the beauty of joining any organization, you always have the flexibility from moving from one place to the other place over a period of time. That doesn't mean that every year you keep quitting your job, you will not benefit. But you have to decide and you have to choose.
Thank you, ma'am. And one more question. Say something about HR interview, ma'am.
So HR interview is more in terms of a personal round. Okay, HR is only trying to gauge you in terms of, one is your attitude, your commitment to the organization, your obviously in terms of where you come from, your your marks and your college and those kind of things. So in a HR interview, again, questions which will typically be asked is from where you are, which college you are, what have you done. They look at, how has your 10th standard, 12th standard, your degree marks been. They will look at what you want to do 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line. They'll ask you in terms of your goals, your, those kind of things. Why are you interested in joining our organization? That's typically a HR round. And HR is the one who also decides on what salary to give you in terms of, okay, from based on your qualification, based on your skills, based on your competencies, they will arrive at saying that, okay, this is a salary which we can give this particular person if this particular person joins at this level in this organization. So HR is more like a personal round of interview where they're just assessing your your attitude, your communication skills, they won't talk to you about your technical skills, because technical skills will be another round which the domain specialist will do. So these are the things that they will look at in terms of assessing you in a HR round. That's what we do in HR.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, dear participants, you can post your queries through chat option. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, participants. Hope all your queries have been clarified and had a wonderful time. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your knowledge with us.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. It was my pleasure.
As
Madam,
all,
another question was there, ma'am.
okay.
Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, we have one more question. For a course like data science, is one certification is enough, or should we have more than one certification, ma'am?
No, so it depends on how deep you want to go into data science, right? I mean, you want a you want a beginner level, then you do a beginner level certification. You want to do an intermediate level, you do an intermediate level. You have an expert level, you do an expert level certification. So it depends on what you want to do and how far you want to go into that particular certification. So for freshers, probably a beginner and an intermediate, beginner or an intermediate level is good enough to start with.
Okay, thank you. And ma'am, another question from a student. Ma'am, should I follow the corporate etiquettes or be myself?
You have to definitely be yourself, right? I mean, you can't be true to yourself, be what you are. But when you say when you talk about corporate etiquette, what is corporate etiquette according to you, right? Corporate etiquette is not, nobody's asking you to come in stylish dresses, and that's not corporate etiquette. Most of the places corporate etiquette is in terms of there would be a uh, you have to be on time to office, so they would have a particular time. So that is one part of the corporate etiquette. Two would be in terms of they will have a dress code. You have to follow that particular dress code in your organization. So certain things are there as part of corporate etiquette, so that is what you have to follow, because that's a rule. Like, for example, you have rules in college, right? Your college will have certain rules, you follow that particular rule. So corporate etiquette is also that. Corporate etiquette is not something about changing yourself. Nobody is asking you to change yourself, so you be true to yourself, but at the same time, whatever etiquette is followed in terms of corporate is what is required. For example, one of the corporate etiquettes most of the organization follow is, however senior the person, today my CEO is there or CFO is there, we call everyone by name, because it doesn't mean that if you call it does not mean if you call them sir and madam only, you're respecting them. By calling them by their names or also, you're still respecting them. Respect remains in your heart, right? So whatever that etiquette of that organization they follow is what you have to follow. But be true to yourself. You don't have to change yourself for the organization. As long as you're honest, you don't have to change, and follow those rules and regulations.
Yes, ma'am. You are correct. It should be followable in all places, ma'am. It would be good.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Your respect for people,
Yes,
right?
ma'am. True respect.
It's all about that. Your
Yes,
etiquette is
attitude.
all about that. Your code of conduct is all about that. Respecting each other, not harassing anybody, following a certain dress code, being on time. These are typically
Real etiquette.
expected
Yes, ma'am.
everywhere.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Studying data science personally is beneficial. It's a doubt from a student.
No, so again, like I said, see, today the options are in plenty. As students, you need to understand that options are in plenty, right? Anything that you study is not going to go for a waste. So today, data science is again in demand, right? I mean, there's so much is there. So, for example, look at what do I say? Look at this industry, which is the health industry, right? We talk about what is it? Health is $11 trillion industry at this point of time globally, right? Every hospital is tracking every single patient, right? So there's so much of data which is there, and data science is at that point of time in terms of analysis and stuff like that which is required. So the kind of opportunities, the job which is there is what to say, there will be plenty of opportunities which is available. So it is depends on what you want to do. Like I said, nothing goes waste. It depends on how you want to take it up, how much you want to learn, and how much depth you want to get into that particular subject. You look at education also, right? I mean, if somebody wants to become a teacher or whatever it is, today education is a $7 trillion industry across the globe, and there are more than 100 million teachers which are available globally, right? If a teacher has a laptop and has a good connectivity, there's no boundaries for a teacher or a professor. So a teacher sitting in Erode in Tamil Nadu could be teaching some students sitting in probably San Francisco or in London, or could be sitting in Kanyakumari or wherever it is, right? So that's how the world is changing. So whether it is data science or whatever, I think opportunities are there. How depth you want to get into, what is the level that you want to learn is up to you. Till what, how much of knowledge that you want to acquire is up to you.
Yes, ma'am. Data science will rule the industry at least for 10 years.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, then what is the difference between product-based company and service-based company? This is a question from a student.
Product-based companies are typically where we develop products, right? I mean, for any particular product, like for example, if you look at even Infosys, we have Infosys Consulting, we have Edgework. Edgework is our product company where they develop that particular product. So it's a subsidiary of Infosys. We call it Edgework. Like how you have Infosys BPM, we have Infosys Consulting, Infosys Technology, we have Edgework. So Edgework for us is a company who will develop those products for us. Whereas Infosys Technology is more in terms of the services, right? They serve. So your clients are there, they have their technology. We might improve that particular technology, but it is a service that we are giving of our employees in terms of our engineers or whatever it is that we are giving. So that's the difference between a product and a services company.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. And on doubt from a BSc CT student about his higher studies in PG, which course will be better for PG?
So I don't think I can guide my own daughter on that at this point of time, because like I keep saying, right? I mean, it depends on your area of interest. What do you want to do? So masters is something where you're going to specialize, right? Now, what do you want to specialize on? Do you want to specialize on where there are plenty of opportunities available? Do you want to specialize on the recent technology which is there? Is up to you completely what you want to do. But definitely do pursue your masters, because it definitely adds value to your CV, and it adds value to yourself as well. So you can pursue your masters, and or you can work for 1 or 2 years, understand what the industry wants and whatever it is, and then subsequently pursue your masters. So that's another way of doing it. But what is the subject that you should pursue is completely up to you. It depends on what is the area of interest that you want. I gave that as an example some time back, right? There are students who come into engineering or whatever it is, and then they decide to take something else. So by a parent or a senior guiding you or telling you take this particular subject, if you don't have that interest, it doesn't help. So you have to decide what is the subject that you want to pursue in your masters and further.
Thank you, ma'am. And one more student's worry. What's the job security in this pandemic, ma'am? We hear many people saying we lost job. How the industry will be?
See, one is I don't
Still,
understand.
IT has same scope and
I
recruitment.
don't understand this question about job security at all. That's why I spoke about rules of success, right? I mean, it's all about if you are confident, if you know that you do your job well, you have the capability. Why will any employer throw you outside the organization, right? Unless the business is closing down, right? So if the business is closing down for whatever reasons, the client is not giving the business is closing down, then obviously, your company will ask you to leave. But if business is going well, there's no problem. And if you are a good performer, no company is going to ask you to leave. So when you come to a private limited company, right, any private limited company, this question of job security is very, very, hazy, right? I mean, I don't think anywhere people will tell you that your job is secured for your life in this particular organization. That probably can happen when you do have a government job, right? Even if you're a teacher in a particular private college, and if you're not governed by you're not on the UGC scale or whatever, tomorrow as a teacher, if you don't perform well, if your teaching is not good, right, in that particular college, the students don't like the way you teach, I'm sure the college management will say you're not an effective teacher, please leave, right? So it's I'm just giving an example, I'm just trying to draw a parallel over here. That's how a private limited company is. Any private limited company for that matter, obviously they're looking at their profitability, they're not doing charity work. So if you're a good performer, if they have a business, your job is secure, right? If you're not a good performer, then it depends on how you are. So that when you look at job security, please look at it in that fashion. And none of us get into a job saying that is my job secure. I am very confident about myself. That is why, for example, I am working with Infosys for the last 15 years. I have never had this doubt whether Infosys will throw me outside the organization or not. I mean, even for a second, I have not had that doubt, right? I know that they will not, right? So I have been here for 15 years. Previously, I've worked with other organizations as well. So that's how it is. Private limited organizations are going to be like that. So you focus on your performance.
Yes, ma'am, you are absolutely correct. Ma'am, how will be the interviews done during this COVID? Still, IT has same scope on recruitment like past years or not?
Absolutely, absolutely. It will only be done virtually currently. See, like for example, I would have loved this particular program to be in person, because I know if it was in person, there would be many more questions. I can face the audience. Audience are more comfortable and stuff like that. But that's not the case, so we have to do it virtually. This year again, I don't think there is a. I mean, I don't think by November, December, or January the pandemic is going to go anywhere. So virtual interviews. So currently also we are doing interviews. Not only we, I'm sure many organizations are doing. It is done virtually. They'll send you a WebEx link or a Google Meet link or a Zoom link or whatever. And on that particular link, or first when they do aptitude papers, they will send you a particular link in terms of solving that aptitude paper or whatever. Once you've cleared, then they'll call you for a personal round of interview, and that will be through a video conference like this, through one of the what to say, Google Meet or Zoom or whatever it is. That's how they will interview you. And you will have to obviously put your camera on. You can't say that, because they definitely want to see you in terms of your talking. So it's virtual. So that will continue. That's not changing. We are still continuing with interviews and in the organization.
Ma'am, on a critical question, if you conduct an interview, what's your top 10 questions you will ask the students?
Uh, okay, it also okay. So typically in an interview, most of the time, like I have already said, right? You start off an interview with asking the person to talk about themselves. So when the person walks in, you say, okay, tell me something about yourself. And then from there it is picked on. So somebody would have said, okay, I'm so and so. This is what I've done. This is what I've done. My second question could be typically saying that, why do you want to join my organization, or why should I hire you in my organization? So when I ask a question saying, why should I hire you in your organization, you should tell me, you should be able to convince me why you should be hired in the organization. Third could be something in terms of your skills, where you have put technical skills. If I want you for that particular, for example, I want you for a blockchain developer, or I want you for business process management, right? For website development or whatever it is. So I'll ask you specific to that particular area. Third is obviously I'll ask you in terms of, if you put something in terms of your hobbies or whatever it is, I could ask you a question in that. Or I could, the fifth one could be, I could give you a scenario, right? Say, I'll tell you, this is the scenario I'm giving you. Tell me, how do you solve this particular scenario? If I want to get to know you more, if I'm interested in you as a candidate, I will give you a particular scenario and say, can you solve this for me? So these are the typical questions you will face in most of the interview. At least the first 5-6 questions will be this. So start with the first, I think the first 3 minutes, you have to catch the interviewer's attention. And most of the interviewer will ask you with the first question will be, tell me about yourself. And your tell me about yourself is where you will catch their attention. So be prepared, what you want to say in that 4-5 sentences when they start. And then from there is where they will pick up the remaining questions.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Dear participants, I hope all your queries have been clarified. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your patience and for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. Dear students, as Reena ma'am said, update yourself, have a good attitude, and be an excellent performer. Then always you'll be top. Your life will be that one. Yes, thank you, ma'am. As all things come to an end, we hardly realize that we receive a great deal more than what we give, and that's only with the gratitude. So that's life becomes rich. Now we call upon Mr. M. Chandru, Assistant Professor of Art Department, to deliver the vote of thanks. Sir, please.
Good morning to one and all. On behalf of Kongu Arts and Science College and the Department of Computer Science, I feel so proud and privileged to conclude this skill development program on enhancing employability skills by delivering the vote of thanks. First and foremost, I wish to extend my sincere gratitude our honorable correspondent Thiru K. Palnichami avargal for granting permission to conduct this event today and for providing support by all means for the success of this programming. Thank you, sir. Next, I wish to thank our most respected principal, Dr. N. Raman sir, who is the real motivator and the key factor for the successful planning and execution of this event. Thank you, sir. I wish to thank our today's resource person, Ms. Reena Ravi Madam from Infosys Bangalore, for delivering us a wonderful presentation. Really, the session was excellent, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for your august presence and the excellent presentation. I wish to thank our head of the department, Mr. P. Ramesh sir, for his untiring support in all our activities and the faculty members of my home department for their support in making this event a grand success. Next, I thank the heads, faculty members of BCA, CT, and IT departments and the students of Computer Science, BCA, CT, and IT departments of our college who have made this program more vibrant with their active participation in the skill development programming. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Dear participants, the feedback link is posted in the chat box. Kindly fill it before leaving. I take this wonderful moment to thank each and every participant who made it a point to attend this skill development program today. Thank you, one and all. Thank you, ma'am, for your session.
Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Wish
you,
you all
ma'am.
the best.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll meet you all again in another session. Have a good day.